You walked through a downtown last week, the one with the empty storefronts and the silence that feels heavier than traffic noise. That street you drove faster to get out of. It was designed like this. Not neglected, designed. Ancient Rome built cities that kept 1 million people fed, watered, and controlled for 500 years. They used stone, gravity, and something modern planners erased from their blueprints. And the cities that used the same principle, they still work. The ones that abandoned it, you live in one. This is not about nostalgia. This is about a blueprint that governed human behavior through streets, water, and surveillance, and why the cities that forgot it are now the ones you drive through without stopping. If you have ever felt that hollow recognition walking past a boarded-up storefront on a street that should be alive, stay. This is where that feeling becomes a diagnosis. Vitruvius wrote the Architectura around 30 BCE, a 10-volume manual for building cities that would last. He described sewers that still carry water through Rome today. But inside those chapters was a hidden architecture, one that governed how people moved, where they gathered, and what they could see. The Cardo Maximus ran north to south, the Decumanus Maximus ran east to west. They intersected at the Forum, the precise center of every Roman colony. Nimes, founded in 19 BCE, still has its Cardo visible in the street pattern. You can stand at that intersection and see every public building within 200 meters. That was not accident. That was designed for control. A person walking through a Roman grid was always visible. The Forum was the only place to hear announcements. The streets were straight enough that vigiles, the night watch Augustus created in 6 CE, could patrol every block without blind corners. You have noticed the opposite in your own city, the suburb with the winding cul-de-sacs, where you cannot see the next intersection, the downtown where the main street dead ends into a parking garage. Those were not mistakes, they were choices. And the choice was to stop building for visibility. You have felt it. That exact intersection where you could not see around the curve. The planners knew that visibility was a choice. Subscribe to see the invisible decisions shaping every street you walk. And in the comments, tell me the first street in your city that felt like it was designed to hide something. Modern zoning is supposed to be progress. Separate housing from commerce. Separate work from life. Separate people from each other. The strange part is every ancient city did the opposite. And they worked better. Jane Jacobs published The Death and Life of Great American Cities in 1961. She spent 2 years observing 200 intersections in New York. Her finding, mixed-use neighborhoods had lower crime and higher economic activity than single-use zones. The streets where people lived above shops, where children played near bakeries, where the same people passed the same windows every day. Those streets were safer. The planning profession ignored her. Then they attacked her. Then they quietly absorbed her language while keeping the same zoning codes. You have seen it too. That stretch of downtown where every third storefront is for lease. The only people walking are those who missed the bus. The street lets you see too far. There is nothing worth walking toward. Augustus understood something in 7 BCE that modern planners still resist. He passed the Lex de Edificis, limiting building heights to roughly 25 meters, about 8 stories. He required firebreak walls every 30 meters. The Curatores Operum Publicorum inspected every structure weekly. The law was not just about fire safety, it was about visibility. When buildings stay below a certain height, the street remains a public room. Watchtower? No. Watchable street? Yes. Your city has no height limit worth enforcing. The new towers rise to 40 stories, casting shadows over sidewalks that were designed for sunlight. The street becomes a canyon. Surveillance becomes impossible. The vigiles cannot see what happens at the bottom of a 40-story wall. Here is what shifts everything. Ancient planners understood that water was not just infrastructure, it was leverage. Frontinus, appointed water commissioner of Rome around 97 CE, wrote the Aqueductu. He documented every aqueduct, every castellum, distribution tank, and every valve that could shut off water to specific districts. The Aqua Appia was built in 312 BCE, the Aqua Claudia in 52 CE. Both fed a network of castella that allowed authorities to control neighborhoods through supply. A district that rebelled could lose its water within hours. No army needed, just a valve. The World Bank published a dataset in 2021 showing that 27% of world megacities, cities with over 10 million people, now have legal provisions allowing municipal authorities to suspend water during civil unrest. The technology changed. The logic did not. You live in a system where the ancient principle still operates. You just do not see the valves. You live inside that system now. The valves are still there, just not marked. Subscribe to learn how to read the infrastructure that controls your neighborhood. Leave a comment. Name one place in your city where you suspect water is used as leverage. A public square that was suddenly drained during a protest. A fountain that never runs except on election day. Now witness what happens when this logic maps onto a modern ghost town. Detroit lost 60% of its population between 1950 and 2020. But the decline was not uniform. The neighborhoods that held longest were the ones built on the old streetcar grids, the ones with mixed-use corners, visible intersections, short blocks. The neighborhoods that collapsed first were the ones designed around cars, with long blocks, dead ends, and no public water at street level. Lewis Mumford called modern zoning the corpse of the city in the City and History, published in 1961. He documented how medieval quarters, butchers, tanners, bakers, were organized by function, not by class. Rich and poor lived on the same street. The neighborhood was self-sufficient. That is the principle ancient Rome understood. A city is a living organism, not a machine. Every street is a vein. Every building has a role. Nothing is single-use because nothing in nature is single-use. The Soviet Union attempted to replicate this logic in the 1920s. They designed micro-districts, self-contained neighborhoods with housing, schools, clinics, and shops within walking distance. They followed the blueprint. They missed the soul. The streets were too wide. The buildings were identical. The central square was empty because there was nothing to buy, nowhere to sit, no reason to stay. The micro-districts became sterile because they eliminated the human-scale elements that create attachment. You have seen this, the suburbs, with the perfectly planned cul-de-sacs and the empty main street. The planning was flawless. The life was absent. Here is the part most people miss. The ancient builders did not just build differently, they measured differently. They optimized for a variable modern planners erased. Time spent in public. A Roman forum was designed to hold crowds. The basilica housed law courts. The curia housed the senate. The tabularium held archives. But the design also forced people to wait, in line, in the open, visible to authorities. The more time citizens spent in public, the more predictable their behavior became. Modern public space design does the opposite. Planners optimize for throughput, move people through as fast as possible. The result? You rush through plazas, avoid sidewalks, and never form the attachment that makes a neighborhood self-policing. Gallup polled 12,000 urban residents in 2023. 68% visited a central public square at least once weekly. Of those, 74% said the square made them feel more connected to their community. The people who live in walkable neighborhoods with visible public squares are the people who protect them. You have walked through at least one of these places. Now you understand why some empty streets are not dying, they are already dead. The hidden truth. Ancient cities were built for humans, not cars. For community, not commerce. For resilience, not efficiency. Modern zoning optimized for property value and traffic flow, and created spaces where life cannot exist. That brings us back to the question you started with. You live in a city built by planners who never asked the question ancient builders answered daily. Does this space make life better? Every boarded-up storefront, every sterile sidewalk, every downtown that feels like a museum of failure, these are not accidents. They are the predictable outcome of a system that forgot its purpose. But here is the name of what they forgot. In Roman city planning, there was a principle called permeabilitas, the quality of being walkable, seeable, and traversable. A street had permeabilitas when you could walk from the forum to the bathhouse without crossing a wall, when you could see the cardo from the decumanus, when the city invited you to stay. Permeabilitas. That is the word they removed from the blueprint. Subscribe to carry this word into every city you walk through from now on. In the comments, write the name of one street in your city that still has permeabilitas, or the one that lost it and never came back. Modern zoning killed permeabilitas. If you have ever felt like a stranger in your own city, like the place you grew up was replaced by something that does not recognize you, you are not wrong. The pattern is real. And understanding it is the first step. Write these in the comments. What part of this did you already know but never said out loud? This is just the surface. What comes next changes everything. In the next chapter, how one American city reversed the Roman principle and why its downtown came back while others stayed empty. So next time you drive through a suburb with a boarded up main street, ask yourself, was this designed or did it just die? Subscribe.
Click it.
Not because you will fix it, but because understanding how a city fails is the first step to knowing why yours might too. And there is a city that reversed this pattern. What they did challenges everything you just learned.
Reverse the pattern.